The latest publicity stunt from Jeff Bezos and Blue Origin has the internet buzzing, and not in a good way. This time, it wasn't just another billionaire joyride to the edge of space, it was a heavily marketed all-female space flight starring Katy Perry, Gayle King, Sánchez, and a few others. What was supposed to be a celebration of female empowerment in space turned out to be, at best, an overproduced Amazon commercial. At worst, a tone-deaf, out-of-touch display of wealth and privilege disguised as something meaningful. Katy Perry, Gayle King, and Sanchez, Bezos' fiancée, boarded the phallic-shaped Blue Origin rocket, all smiles and sound bites, for an 8-minute space trip designed more for optics than exploration. The media lapped it up, but many viewers, especially those struggling to pay for groceries or health insurance, weren't so quick to applaud. Now people called out the absurdity weeks before launch, asking the question, what's the point? Why did this need to be broadcast like some historic feat of female progress? If these women wanted to go to space so badly, couldn't they just go and spare us the PR campaign? People can't even afford basic necessities like eggs. And here we are celebrating an elite handful of women getting rocketed into the sky for what essentially amounts to a selfie opportunity with the Earth's curvature. The awkward, self-congratulatory tone of the launch didn't help. From tearful reactions to over-the-top symbolic moments like ringing a ceremonial bell, the entire event reeked of rich people cosplay. These women weren't astronauts, they were passengers. Yet somehow, simply riding the rocket made them astronauts in the public narrative. A claim that left many professional space experts and actual astronauts cringing. Even more absurd, the group dubbed themselves the Six, as in the Six taking up space. Yes, they actually branded themselves as a collective as if they were the Spice Girls of spaceflight. And while Sanchez spoke emotionally about the meaning of the experience and how much gratitude she had, critics couldn't ignore the elephant in the room. Would she even be on that rocket if she weren't engaged to Jeff Bezos? It didn't help that Jeff himself showed up in his signature cool guy jacket, doing everything he could to make this about him, while pretending it wasn't. He was there to support his fiancée, sure, but he also made sure to get his own moment of glory, reinforcing the suspicion that this was more about feeding egos than advancing science. As the broadcast unfolded, it seemed to become less about space and more about spectacle. Cameras captured Gayle King getting emotional. Katy Perry did her best dramatic exit from the spacecraft. They rang bells, posed for photos, and thanked Oprah because of course Oprah was involved somehow. According to Gayle, even Oprah cried watching her land. Billionaire tears for billionaire friends. It all felt hollow. To be fair, not every woman on board was a celebrity. Amanda, a Nobel Peace Prize nominee and activist for sexual assault survivors, was also among the Six. Her story is actually inspiring. She once dreamed of working with NASA, interned there, but faced a traumatic experience while studying at Harvard. Instead of giving up, she became a fierce advocate, founding the organization Rise and authoring the 2006 Sexual Assault Survivors' Rights Act. She's someone who truly earned her place, not just in space, but on a global stage. Including her on the flight was the one redeeming part of the entire stunt. But the rest? It just felt like rich people playing astronaut for Instagram likes. Katy Perry, who brought a daisy to honor her daughter Daisy, spoke about how connected to love she felt after the flight. She claimed the experience helped her realize just how much love she has to give. Beautiful sentiment, sure, but it landed awkwardly against the backdrop of public backlash. People weren't interested in feel-good platitudes from celebrities who can buy their way into orbit. They wanted accountability. They wanted clarity. And many just wanted them to shut up. When questioned about the criticism, Sanchez and her fellow passengers doubled down. According to them, critics don't understand what's happening here. They pointed to the inspiration it might provide to young girls. But what message are we really sending? That space is for the ultra-rich? That if you marry a billionaire, you too might ride a rocket one day? Sanchez tried to defend the mission, talking about how much passion Blue Origin employees have for their work and how this flight represented something bigger. But how many of those dedicated employees will ever get to go to space themselves? Probably none. Yet Katy Perry got a golden ticket because she's got a big name and a bigger Instagram following. It all boiled down to privilege wrapped in faux inspiration. And let's not forget, Jeff Bezos is still at the center of it all. Despite the female-led framing, he remained the puppet master, pulling the strings and soaking up the spotlight. While the broadcast pretended it was about empowering women, the reality is that Bezos and Blue Origin were selling a luxury product. A $250,000 seat on a rocket marketed like a trip to Disneyland. Now look, if these women wanted to go to space, fine. No one's stopping them. They have every right to spend their money or benefit from their billionaire fiancé's bank account however they please. Want to strap into a rocket and see the Earth from above? Go for it. It's a free country. But let's not kid ourselves here. Let's not pretend this was some kind of historic moment for gender equality or a milestone in the fight for women's rights. That's where the whole thing crosses a line from eye-roll worthy to flat-out insulting. Because while Katy Perry and Sánchez were ringing bells and wiping away carefully timed tears, real women were out there grinding. We're talking about the women who are breaking through actual barriers in science, technology, engineering, and math. Women who are putting in 60-hour weeks in labs, fighting for tenure, trying to get their research funded. Women in medicine, pulling overnight shifts in emergency rooms, juggling student loans and family responsibilities while saving lives. Women in the military, training in brutal conditions, being deployed overseas, and still facing discrimination and harassment just for wearing a uniform. Those are the women who are pushing boundaries. Those are the women who are making real history every day. And they're doing it without cameras flashing in their faces or press kits calling them inspirational icons. Most of them aren't getting media coverage. They're not being handed custom-made flight suits or being praised by Oprah. They're not flying to the edge of space in a rocket that looks like a novelty toy. They're grinding in silence, earning every inch of progress they make, kind of like Amanda. She was the one person in that capsule who felt like she truly belonged. Amanda has a legitimate track record of fighting for justice. She interned at NASA. She dreamed of space as a child. Her seat made sense. Felt earned. Symbolic, even. She wasn't there for clout or to promote an album. She was there because her story had weight. She deserved that moment. Now if Katy and her billionaire friend had just gone to space and said, "Hey, we're lucky to do this. It's a fun experience. We're grateful," that would have been fine. No one would have batted an eye. But the second they started draping it in social justice language and acting like they were shattering glass ceilings, they lost the plot. In the end, it's not about whether or not space travel is cool. It is. And yes, commercial space travel has a future. But if we're going to pretend that celebrity joyrides are some kind of progress, we're doing a disservice to everyone actually pushing science and equality forward. But what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to more content.